So hello again from Stuart Boat Works. This doesn't necessarily qualify as a latest launch because this boat's actually a year old. But this boat's just back in from the Bahamas. They asked us to do a little touch-up work for them and do a detail job on it. So I thought, what the heck, we missed this when we delivered it. So I'll just give you a quick walkthrough of this 27 Stuart Boat Works forward seating model. If you've seen any of the other videos, I won't bore you unnecessarily with too much of those details, but in this application, they chose to, there you go, beach towels. They chose to have the forward seating version, the cushion made so you can get right to the gem lock to come out. That storage goes all the way around and back to the other side here. Then there's sizable storage below. This is actually an insulated fish box that's 2 inches of insulation in it. But as some of our customers, I don't know that they even seriously fish this boat. They dive it more than anything. So he has all of his boating materials in here. This boat's also owned by a fellow that has a bigger boat. So this is more of a tender in a lot of ways. Mentioned in other videos, the gutters, the drainage for all the gutters, for all the hatches, they don't go down into the bilge like almost every builder I know. These actually go into a fiberglass track that's glassed to the underside of the deck, and then that water runs all the way aft. It combines and picks up with any of the other gutters, and it picks up with the cockpit scuppers, and then combined, those then get plumbed together and go directly overboard. Awesome feature if you're leaving your boat for any extended period of time, out on a mooring buoy or at a dock unattended, so forth. So, another feature that I always like to point out is the anchor locker because it's so well done on this boat. First off, you can get this so we hang one anchor as we've done here. We've also done it for some customers that do a lot of Bahamas trips and we've done it for 2 anchors. It's a possibility. It's a huge anchor locker that drains directly overboard. And also cleats. I always point this out. Unlike a lot of manufacturers, we not only give you a really sizable cleat. I mean, this stock line isn't even near the diameter that will work with this cleat. But in addition to which, we have a large stainless steel plate that we go out and have manufactured separately that we put on for a backing plate on the underside. We throw away the backing plate that comes with the cleat because it's undersized for our taste. Some of our previous 27s and 23s have been built with a smaller console. This is our larger console that we've essentially made it standard now. One of the features is a really nice insulated cooler forward. Legitimately insulated, actually does the job of a cooler. As you come up, we've taken the forward legs of the hardtop, blend them into the console as opposed to going to the cockpit soles, so there's an easier walk by. As we come up, the aluminum, come up to really cool surfboard hardtop. Many man hours go into making this hardtop, but it's the way we like to do it. Big boat look, big boat feel. Integrated LED forward light. 3 LED lights on the underside that are multicolored. And then as you move back, there's another integrated spreader light looking aft, as well as a 4-rod rocket launcher on the backside. One of the really cool features of having this bigger console is that we put a huge acrylic access door. And when you look below, you get access to the C-Zone digital switching that's standard on all the Stuarts and the Islamaradas. You get access to the batteries on a battery shelf, firmly, securely bolted down, but readily accessible. And of course, they're 3 Group 27 North Star AGM batteries. And then just a massive compartment. You know, a lot of people that buy these boats run back and forth to the Bahamas. They always say, well, hey, I need to take luggage with the family. So where am I going to put it? Well, here's an open center console with a lot of luggage storage below. Some people will opt to have a head installed there, and it's available, but most leave it open, quite frankly. your choice. So the Helm, as you can imagine, this could be anything you really want it to be. On this particular boat, they went with dual glove boxes, fusion stereo, a simple Garmin 10-inch screen, Garmin VHF, the C-Zone digital switching, Lenco trim tabs with indicators, stainless wheel with power knob. It's pretty straightforward, simple stuff. That's what they wanted out of this boat. This family owns, as I mentioned earlier, more than one boat. They wanted to keep this as their simple, basically a cruising boat that they dive out of a little bit. So then we come to the, I'm going to say typical. It's a birdsaw leaning post, storage below, fixed backrest, rod holders, cup holders, little rigging station, handrail, spot below for sliding tracks for a cooler, frigid, rigid, or Yeti, whichever you desire. Folding footrest, which is fairly common, but it works. It's functional. It's been around for 40 years, and it's a great piece. From there, I should say this could have also been a leaning post live well. We do put in a 40-gallon leaning post live well, but again, this application, not a serious fish boat. When you go to the cockpit sole, we have two compartments that are very substantial in size. There is rod storage racks in the forward edge and the aft edge. They don't choose to use them, again, not being fishermen per se. So this can be any application. We have carpeted this for people before where they've put fly rods in there and they didn't want to have the reels potentially hit the inside of the hull. In this case, dock lines, anchor ball, secondary, looks like a moose anchor or something, but so you have this on both sides of the hull, so you can store rods 4 per side of any length. You then move to the center line. This is a secondary insulated fish box. Now there's the massive one forward. This one I would consider to be more of a day box, which probably most people would prefer to use with kind of average sized fish. I've actually put in a 30-pound dolphin in this box where it actually will curl around. And the beauty of that is you don't have that monster box to clean at the end of the day if you legitimately didn't need it. But this is an insulated fish box. It can be plumbed as an option. Standard simply drains. So moving aft of this secondary fish box, we get to the bilge access. Now in this case, as I mentioned, they just got back from the Bahamas, so there's some goodies in the way here. But there's wonderful bilge access. The removable stern seat can be taken out of the way, which would increase your bilge access. But it's just big boat type of access. There's no standing on your head. There's no, geez, if you get in there, you don't know if you're getting out type of situation. You can literally see the transducer, touch the whale pump, the power steering pump, float switch, everything, fuel filter, everything is readily accessible. And again, the track does not drain into the hull, but goes overboard. So as we work up to the transom seat, of course the seat I mentioned was removable, the backrest is removable as well. Arms oscillate, fold out of the way, you can stow them below in the big storage compartments forward. Cool thing about the 27 Stuart Boatworks and the 23 Stuart Boatworks is with the big boat heritage, they have a full transom. It's got a little radius to it. It's what you would find on a typical inboard sport fisherman. You don't have a little baby transom door to deal with and worry about the componentry and how it fits or trips you going in or out. It's a pretty plain, simple, solid transom, which gives you a lot of safety if you have kids on board and things of that nature. If you want to dive, like these people are serious divers, this is the boat they chose. This dock line would be out of the way, but let's say if you're diving, you just go right from here with this in place and just swing around to the swim platform and boof, you're off, vice versa, coming back in. If the stern seat's out of the way, of course, you could swing this way. So it's truly functional, it's safe, it's classic, it's structural integrity of the whole boat. There's a million reasons why to do that. the way this is configured. Then moving on, and there's a few other minor things like washdowns. You know, this particular customer just wanted a freshwater washdown, but if you did saltwater, it would be up under this gunnel. Freshwater, it could be vice versa, your choice. Electric reel outlet, he did stick one in there for, I guess, the occasional deep drop in the Bahamas or something. Then as we move to the transom, this boat is powered with twin 150 Suzuki 4-strokes. This is in twins, our minimum recommended horsepower. But this boat, here's some remarkable information about this boat and how it's powered. While our maximum horsepower rating is 600, which would be twin 300s, which we sell a few a year that way, and the people that have them love them. And then you have a 60+ mile an hour boat. Twin 150s, this boat will run between 42 and 44 miles an hour wide open. More importantly, it'll cruise at 30 to 32 miles an hour, extremely fuel efficient. It comes up on plane, you never lose sight of the horizon because of the hull design. And here's the amazing thing, it'll stay on plane down to about 16 miles per hour. That's regardless of how much fuel on board. It carries 140, optional up to 185. Regardless of who's sitting on the boat, where they're sitting, this boat comes on plane at about 16 miles an hour and stays on plane. If you have to back off because of extremely rough conditions, stays on plane at that speed. Awesome functionality. The other really amazing thing, I sea trialed a similar boat, exact same power, 5 adults on board, half a tank of fuel. The boat comes on plane on one motor. One motor, turned off, trimmed out of the water, not changing the props, and not putting the trim tabs down, just simply applying throttle. This single 150 Suzuki ran this boat at 22 miles an hour, half a tank of fuel, 5 adults on board. Incredible. So typically you'll see 150s, 200s, 250s, and 300s. More commonly, 200s would probably be the package to get you into that 46 mile an hour wide open range and increase your cruise speed a little bit. So I didn't want to be remiss and leave this boat without showing you the hull again, because this is what the boat's all about. Boats are about ride. Structural integrity, yes, but ride to me is the essence of what owning a boat is all about. Look how sharp the entry is on this hull. This is knife-like. Unlike other people that say their entry is knife-like, this is. And it flows into a very small little magical keel of about 3/4 of an inch, which runs almost all the way back to the very transom. That magical keel gives it its directional stability. It also helps it, like in a beam sea, on any sea trial, I'll run the boat out the inlet and turn sideways. Then I shut down and watch that boat and watch how predictable the motion of the hull is. And that little keel is kind of the answer. People say, well, geez, you know, your boat's so round. You know, all these surfaces are round. Yeah, well, that gives you a soft ride. But they say, but you know what's going to happen? Once that boat starts rolling, it's never going to stop. Well, quite to the contrary. That deep forefoot, that little magical keel, and yeah, there is an outboard chine on here. It's not big, but there is one. That helps this boat settle down, and there's no pitching. There's no snap roll. You'll see that the boat will make one turn, one movement, and settle. And you need to experience that. I could talk to them blue in the face, but if you're in the market for a 23 to 27 foot center console, you owe it to yourself and your family to let us give you a ride in Stuart Boat Works and show you what this is all about. Appreciate it. Thanks very much. Give us a call.